Well, okay. I have something exciting to show you. Let's recap if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about. So if you're familiar with my work, for 12 years, I've been explaining and teaching the book of Revelation, showing how the book of Revelation is unfolding as we speak, pointing to Pope Francis as the one who will be the false prophet, and Prince Hassan bin Salah of Jordan, the one who will be the Antichrist. Since Pope Francis' death, I revised my book, The Falling Away. It points to how he will resurrect from the dead, fulfilling this prophecy here as the one who was and is not and will ascend out the bottomless pit, which is the same title Jesus has, which is the one who was and is to come, both referring to as the resurrected one. Now, in it, I'll also explain this. Now, many Christians are anticipating a rapture in September, but I've been stressing and urging everyone to watch for Pope Francis' resurrection, because he will usher in the end times, and he will become the false prophet that will usher in the Antichrist. Now, Jesus says the end times begins with deception, not a rapture. What better way to deceive people than someone as popular and influential, who has the clout and reverence, who rules over all Catholics on the earth, to resurrect? And then people in hope and despair and so much more will believe in him instead of believing in the Jesus Christ of the gospel, because they'll see this and it'll be as real. But nonetheless, in my book, I'm going to show you how not only should we anticipate this in September, but notice how what we see with the moon cycles in September mirror the four horsemen in Revelation. I show you how September 7th, there's a full moon and the white horse is white, just as the full moon is white. I show you September 7th, there's a lunar moon or a blood moon, which is red. The second horse is red. I show you how September 21st, the moon is what you call a new moon, which is dark, and you see how the third horse is black. I'll show you how September 21st, which just happens to be the 5-month anniversary of Pope Francis' death, is also pitch black because it's a solar eclipse. And just note how the last horse in Revelation is called death. So you see the parallels between the cycles of these moons in September leading to the Feast of Trumpets is parallel to the four horsemen that we see here in the book of Revelation. Now watch this. And here you see behind me, September 7th, the full moon. That's white. The next thing we're going to see is the lunar eclipse or the blood moon, which again, it points to the red horse. So the sequence of moons that we're seeing right now, that's going to happen up to the Feast of Trumpets, is parallel to the colors of the horses in the seven seals, or in the first four seals of the book of Revelation. So instead of anticipating a rapture, we should be anticipating a resurrection and the beginning of the deception that Jesus says starts the end times.